It was the start of my third week here, my second week of duties, which I feel are getting easier. Well, not really easier, I'm just getting used to the schedule, I guess. At the start of each week, I have a meeting with Mason. He gives me a rundown of the week, so I'm somewhat prepared. I walk into the room, shocked to see someone else sat there. A man in a blue suit that looked maybe my age stood there. "Good morning, Your Majesty. I'm Eric, your new royal advisor." He smiles, holding his hand out. I smile, shaking his hand, but was utterly confused. "My new advisor, what happened to Mason?" I ask, still confused. "I saw him on Saturday and he seemed fine. He has been relocated to fulfill a different job." He smiles, pulling his folder out. "And before you ask, no, it had nothing to do with you. Everyone just thought this other job suited him better." He smiles, taking a seat at the desk. "I'm glad he said that. I was getting worried I did something wrong." "Oh, okay, well, I look forward to work with you." I smile, also taking a seat at the desk. He smiles, opening the folder full of paper. "Now I can see Mason had you running around all over the place, so I've came up with a much better schedule." He smiles, handing me a piece of paper. "We will have this meeting on a Monday. Then you'll spend the rest of the day doing paperwork apart from today, as the paperwork won't come into then. Then on Tuesday, you will have normal duties. On Wednesday, you and the king will do duties too." "Ether," he tells me. "Wait." Ich immediately make me smile. "That'll be so nice. It was the king's idea." Then on Thursday and Friday for royal duties, and finally you can have the weekend off. He finishes again with a smile. "That's much better than what Mas had me to. I actually get days off." "Thank you so much, Eric. This schedule is so great." I smile as he just smiles, pulling more things out of his folder. "As you've probably already presumed, you have a lot of letter comes your way. Each letter must get a reply, but we have a team which sieve through them just so you can see the more important ones first." He smiles, pulling a single letter out. "Most of them were just congratulating you on being queen and saying how beautiful you look at your coronation, but this one was different, which is the reason you're eyeing this now." He handing me the end envelope. "As you can see, it's unopened, and on the back it say, YS to only be opened by the queen," which immediately was a cause for concern. But don't worry, we did all of the checks, and it appears to just be a letter with nothing such as chemicals attached to it. He tells me, "Wait, someone might send me something which could harm me. People could send me letters with chemicals attached to them." I ask, actually getting worried. "I'm gonna be scared to open any letter from now on." "Yes, unfortunately. But you don't have to worry. We have special equipment and a team which checks nothing that we enter your hands will pose any danger to you." He replies, making me feel a little better, but still scared that they even have to have a team that does that, but also glad at the same time. "Now to your schedule of this week," he explains, handing me another piece of paper. Unopened letter, BC. After our little meeting, I was done with the day. Eric is actually really nice and more down to earth than Mason was. I was walking through the halls towards Grayson's office. He also had paperwork today, but told Eric he wants to see me after the meeting. The unopened letter was still in my hands. I didn't know why I hadn't opened it yet, but it still remained in my hands. As I reached the door, I didn't even need to knock. He already knew I was there. "Come in, my love," he says from inside the door. I smile, opening the door to see him sat at his desk filling some paperwork out. "How do you get more beautiful every day?" he asks as I close the door behind me. I just smile, walking further into his office. Looking around, it had a strong smell of cleaning products. "I just met Eric. Why is it that I have a new advisor? What happened to Mason?" I ask, walking further into his office. "New position came up that he would be perfect for, so we decided we would transfer him while Eric would work with you," he explains, then looks down at my hands. "What's in the envelope?" he asks, reminding me that it was still in my hands. I move it up, shrugging. "I don't know, it just came. Eric told me. There's a team of people who make sure the letters we open won't release any chemicals. Doesn't that scare you, that you have to have a team for that?" I ask, but he shakes his head, smiling. "I guess you're used to it all," I say, looking down at the letter in my hands. "You will get used to love. I'll be by your side every step of the way." He smiles, still sat at his desk. "Now give me 10 minutes to finish this paperwork and, well, get some lunch." He smiles, I nod, smiling, walking over to sit on one of his sofas while he finished his work. I stare at the letter for a few seconds but slowly begin to open it. I was kind of nervous, if I'm being honest. It seemed to just be a letter which was handwritten. Let's hope I don't have some creepy stalker. It read, Dear Clara, it's Mom. I'm probably the last person you thought would be reaching out to you. I'm sorry it's taken me this long. I've thought about trying to track you and your brother down for years, but I wouldn't know where to start, and kept thinking, you'll probably just ignore me, which you'd have every right to do. When I saw you on that TV, that's when it hit me. I let other people in my life dictate what happened with my children. Trust me, Clara, I never wanted to abandon you or Kyle, but if I didn't, then Cyrus would have killed you. I knew I needed to protect you, and that's the only way I knew how. I'm so incredibly sorry. Your father and I just want to try and make amends. If you'll allow us to do so, I hope to hear back from you soon. With love, Mum XX. I just stare at the piece of paper in front of me. My mum just wrote me a letter after all these years. I didn't know Cyrus threatened to kill us. I don't know what to think or believe anymore. I need to see Kyle. Clara Grayson's voice snapped me out of my thoughts. He was kneeling down in front of me with his hands on my knees. What happened? Are you okay? He asks, worry just filling his face. I opened my mouth to speak but couldn't find the right words. I hand him a letter, remaining silent. He takes the letter while I just stare at the wall, my thoughts just racing with memories of my parents. He pulls me in for a hug once he finishes reading. I wrap my arms around him, feeling tears begin to prick my eyes. I thought my past was all behind me, but I guess it's come back to haunt me. And the office was silent as I sat there staring at the letter. Why would my parents choose now to reach out to me? My life was just starting to go in the right direction now. The roadblock that caused all this mess has turned up in the middle of the road again. Kyle has always told me that we don't have any parents anymore, and I need to put the thoughts of them behind me, but obviously, due to this letter, that's something I can't do. I could just ignore the letter, but then Eric said there has to be a reply to every letter. I would not even know what to say if I decided to reply. They've been out my life for so long that I don't even know who they are. It would be like pouring my heart out to a stranger, and I don't dowel talking to strangers at the best of times. We could claim that the letter never arrived if they write another, but that would be lying and seeing. It's only my first year doing this job. I don't want to start it out with lies. I know myself too well, though. If I ignore them, I'll start to feel terrible and regret ever ignoring them. If I tell Kyle, that's what he'll tell me to do. He always claims that he was older than me, so he saw more than I did. That might be true, but I still saw some things, stuff that stayed with me my whole life. Maybe this is a trap, and she's wrote this to lure us in. Or now I'm queen, they know if they get on my good side, it'll benefit them in the long run. There's more questions than answers on this situation, one that I know for my sake I can't just ignore. I sigh, looking down at the floor, then to Grayson, who was just holding my hand beside me. I knew it would be hard to talk about, but he should know all the facts to a situation I was about to drag him into. I guess you want to know what she means by abandon and why I'm acting like this. I say, looking over at him. He just smiles, giving my hand a little squeeze. The trouble started before me and Kyle were even born. My dad's brother, Cyrus, my uncle, has into some bad stuff, and in doing that bad stuff brought my dad into it. I start to explain with a sigh. I know all this due to Kyle and the little bits and pieces. I remember myself. Cyrus and his mate don't have any children. He would say that children just get in the way, and he doesn't have time for things to get in his way, so you can probably guess what his reaction was when Keel and I came along. I laugh, an awkward laugh. Kyle once told me Cyrus threw a chair at the window when I was born. He would say that his brother, my dad, ruined his life by having kids. Things were fine for a while, yeah. Cyrus didn't like us and wouldn't treat us that great. But when I was around 7, he got into a huge fight with the alpha of our pack, so big that the alpha kicked us out his pack. I explain but smile a little. Before this, Kyle and I would spend most of our time with the alpha and Lou. Our parents were always off with Cyrus, so we'd stay with them for weeks on end. So when the alpha kicked our family out, they offered to keep me and Kyle and raise us as their own. Cyrus, thinking if he said no, the alpha would be forced to keep him in the pack, told the alpha where he could stick that offer, but the alpha still kicked him out. Just before we left though, he whispered to me and Kyle that he didn't officially kick me and Kyle out, which meant we were and still are two of his pack members, and if we ever wanted to, we can come back to our pack as he said. I smile, remembering how nice the alpha was. For a few years, Wed bounced from pack to pack, never staying long as Cyrus always caused trouble wherever he went. Then when I was around 10 and Kyle was 14, I say, "But stop looking down." Grayson pulls me closer to make me better. Our mom took us into the middle of the woods and told Kyle it was his job to look after me now. She said it was his time to step you. Be as an older broth. As her and our dad. Couldn't as parents anymore. She told us we couldn't follow her and had to stay where we were until the next morning. I was terrified as I was only 10, but Kyle looked after me and the rest is history. I guess I finished glad that the storytelling was over. I can see why you reacted to the letter the way you did. I'm so sorry you had to go through that, my love, Grayson says, holding both my hands in his now. You do not have to respond if you don't want to. He smiles, but I shake my head. It would eat away at me if I didn't. I should talk to Kyle about it, but I can't just expect him here when I click my fingers. I sigh, looking over at Gray, who smiles, giving me a look. Wait, I can do that, I ask, surprised. There's a lot of power I have now. You are queen, my love. You can summon someone and they will be here within the hour. He smiles, causing my eyes to go wide, so I could ask for anyone and they'd be here? I can get Josh to contact Eric, who will come see you. Kyle will be here soon. He says going to move, but I take this head. There's no rush. I thought we were going to have lunch. I smile, actually looking forward to spending some time with him. He smiles, placing a kiss on my lips. After lunch, I spoke with Eric. He was more than happy to help and said he was excited for his first task as my advisor. The more time I'm spending with him, the more I see how nice he is. I think I'll get along with him more than Mason. I was now waiting in Gray's office. He told him I could speak to Kyle here as it's the most private office place here. Apparently Hez also having a desk made for me to go beside his, so it'll be our office and we'll work together here. Door knocking makes me stand up straight. I say they can come in, where Eric walks in, bowing his head. Brother Kyle, ma'am, he says, moving aside where Kyle walks into the office, sending me a confused look. Thank you, Eric. I smile. Eric bows his head again, walking out and closing the door. Wow, you did arrive within the hour. I smile to Kyle, who once again was confused. Is everything okay? Some guard people came to the pack telling me the queen has summoned me and I need to leave immediately, he worriedly says. I just nod, sighing, going behind me, taking the letter. I received a letter today. I sigh, holding it up. It's from Mom. Kyle stood frozen in place. His face was blank as he stares at the letter in my hand. He seems to snap out of his trace, where he proceeds to pace. I knew he was trying to collect all his thoughts. I knew this was gonna happen. I kept telling Emma sooner or later they were gonna reach out. Now you're queen, he says, still pacing the room. You might be queen, but I'm still your older brother. You just need to ignore it and throw that away, he continues, pointing down at the letter still in my hands. I can't. When someone writes a letter to a royal, they have to get a reply. I tell him it was a rule I didn't know existed until Toady. And say you never received a letter, he says, but I shake my head. He knows me better than that. That would be lying, and lying is bad, I tell him, crossing my arms. He laughs, pointing at me. No, you see, most lies are bad, but some are justified and okay, he tells me. I continue to shake my head at him. All parents lie to their kids. They tell them Santa Claus exists or the Easter Bunny, or he begins to ramble, but I cut him off. Are you really comparing our parents to Santa Claus? I ask with a raised eyebrow. That's just plain weird. Kyle, I know exactly the way you're feeling, cause I felt the same when I opened the letter, but whether you like it or not, they're still our parents. You should read the letter, I say, going to hand it to him, but he smacks it out my hand. No, so I can hear all their lies, lies that you're falling victim to. You don't understand, Clara. I saw everything they did, he shouts as the letter hits the floor. I go over picking up the letter, but he takes my arm, pulling my sleeve up. See this, they caused that, he says, pointing down at a certain scar on the upper part of my arm. It's the reason I wear clothes that have sleeves that cover the top bit of my arm. Just read the letter for me. If you care about me at all, you'll read it, I say, looking him in the eyes. He sighs, taking a look to the letter on the floor. He reaches down, picking it up, and begins to read. While he's doing so, I pull my sleeve back down so my scar wasn't visible. He shouts lies, beginning to rip the letter up. Once he was finished, he throws it in the bin. Everything she said in that letter is a lie. As your older brother, it's my job to keep you safe, which means keeping you away from them, he tells me before walking to the door. I have to get back, but Clara don't respond. He tells me. I nod, looking down at the ground as I hear the door open and close. I roll my sleeve back up, looking down at the scar. It seems as though it's slowly starting to fade away. It will now, we've found, mate. All scars begin to fade. You should show, mate, my wolf tells me, but I couldn't. It was much too painful to talk about. It won't be if you talk to mate, she says, which I knew was probably true. The door knocking snaps me out my thoughts. I quickly pull my sleeve back down, telling the person to come in. Eric walks in, bowing his head. I just saw your brother leave, ma'am. Is that all from me today, he asks. I go to nod my head but stop myself. Actually, there's one more thing, if that's okay, I say. He happily nods, saying, of course. I need you summon 2 other people, but not for today, but for tomorrow. After all my duties, I need you to summon Melissa and Wes Jacobs, my parents. I tell him. He nods, bowing his head before leaving, closing the door. I'm sorry, Kyle, but I'm so like that. I have to see them. I was now getting ready for bed. After the day I had, I needed some rest. I walk out the bathroom to see Gray already sat in bed. He smiles, opening his arm out. I smile, walking over, getting in bed beside him. We sit in silence for a few minutes. I've asked Eric to bring my parents tomorrow. Kyle told me not to, but I can't just ignore them, I say, which makes him hold me tighter. Will you come with me, I ask, looking up at him. They'll be right by your side, he tells me. I smile, placing my head on his chest. I love the other night you were telling me how your old alpha used to treat you. You were about to tell me what happened when you attempted to stand up to him, he says, which makes me look down at my arm. I sigh, sitting up slightly so I could see him. He got rather angry and put me in my place, as he called it. He did that with everyone, but he wanted to give me a permanent reminder of what it'd always be. I sigh, still looking down. I knew he'd want to know what I mean by permanent reminder. After he put me in my place, he got a really sharp metal thing and wrote what I was to him on my body, so I'd know what I was forever, I say, tears welling up in my eyes. I've always tried to put that memory at the back of my mind, but it's hard. Air Gray asks, looking at me. I take a glance to my upper arm, then back at him. He takes a hold of my sleeve, but I stop him. I just want to see what he did, he says, looking at me, but I still shake my head. I don't want you to judge me or look down at me if you see it, I say, feeling a tear about to leave my eye. He takes my face, making me look at him. I will never judge or look down on you. You are perfect to me. That will never change, he says, staring deep into my eyes. I just nod, letting him start to move my sleeve up. Once the area was fully exposed, I knew he saw the scar I hide from the world, the word rouge carved into my skin. I let the tears win the battle and allow myself to cry. Grayson growls but pulls me closer to him, wrapping his arms around me. I'm gonna kill him. I'm going to make sure he pays forever. Putting his hands on my mate, he growls as I continue to cry. He moves, holding my face in his hands. You aren't a rouge. You never were my love. As you said, your previous alpha never kicked you out his pack. Your parents were rouges, but you and your brother aren't. But you are now queen and also my mate, which means no one messes with you anymore, he says, but I shake me head. It doesn't matter, it's still on me. I'm still ugly, I cry, which immediately makes him pull me up out of bed. He pulls me all the way over to a mirror, standing me in front of it with him behind me. Do you know what I see when I look at you? I see a breathtaking beauty who I've been blessed to have as a mate. You are beautiful, my love, he tells me, looking at me through the mirror. That tiny scar on your arm won't be there in a matter of weeks. Now I'm here, all your scars fade. But even before then, you are still the most beautiful person I've never laid my eyes on, and will ever lay them on. He smiles, placing his head on my neck. One day soon you'll wear the most amazing mark on you, given by me. He smiles, looking at my neck. I look at myself, then at him through the mirror. How about you put that mark on me now, I ask, looking at him with a smile. He looks at me, surprise filling his face. I would be proud to wear that mark. Why not now? I ask, turning around to look at him, where he still looks surprised. Studies my face for a while, making sure I was sure before his lips crashed to mine. Sparks flew everywhere as I'm pushed against the wall. He makes his way down to my neck, finding the right spot. Once he finds it, I feel his canines extend against my neck. He bites down into my neck, causing me to take a sharp into of air in. I grip onto his shirt as I feel weird sensations make their way through my body, right down to my tippy toes. After a few minutes, he pulls his teeth out where he slowly moves, looking into my eyes, smiling. "You're mine," he says, placing his forehead on mine.
Grayson was laying in bed beside a sleeping Clara. The thought of that disgraceful alpha who harmed his mate was preventing him from sleeping. He turns to the side, seeing the clock. It appeared to be 4:30 in the morning. Beside the clock was his phone. He picks it up, calling Josh. Josh was probably asleep, so mind linking wouldn't work. It rings a few times before a half-asleep Josh picks up. "I apologize for calling so late, but it's a matter of urgency. I need all my duties to be canceled tomorrow. Something has come up," Grayson whispers through the phone. He takes a glance back down to Clara to make sure she's still asleep. "Must send guards over to the Dark Moon Pack. They must bring the Alpha here using any force necessary. My only request is for him to be alive and conscious when he arrives," he says, his eyes going a shade darker as he spoke. "Alright, I'm on it," Josh replies, fully awake now. He hangs the phone up, jumping to work. Grayson places his phone back on the beside table. He slowly drifts to sleep, needing all the rest he can.
The next morning went by so quickly. I loved the way Eric was scheduling my work. It actually felt like I was doing something, not just running around all over the shop. It was the first day I didn't need to cover my neck. It felt great not to always have a boiling hot neck from the scarf I needed to wear. Also, it meant I was getting closer to Gray too. It was the end of my duties for today, but my day was far from over. My parents were due to arrive within the hour. I hadn't thought about the meeting until I saw the castle. I've been so wrapped up with my duties that they totally slipped my mind. It was probably for the better though, knowing me, I'd be worrying about it all day and wouldn't have been able to focus. I begin to make my way into the castle. When I got halfway up the stairs, I see Gray shouting at someone through the window. He looked rather angry. I've never actually saw him like this before. I look away and continue my journey up the stairs and in through the double doors. Everyone inside bow their heads towards me as I enter. I send them all smiles as I hear doors begin to open and close from upstairs. Glancing up, I see Gray putting on a different colored suit jacket. He runs down the stairs in front of me. "I know your parents are coming and I will be here. I just need to head out for a second," he says, standing in front of me. I just nod and smile, where he places a kiss on my lips before running out the door. "Wow, he's in a hurry." Eric walks from behind me smiling. He bows his head at me before speaking like he always does. "Your parents will be arriving soon, Mom. I suggest the ballroom would be a suitable place for you to have the talk you'll be having," he says, holding his arm out. "Wait, Gray isn't here. Clara, you're a big girl now. You can't expect Gray to be at your beck and call constantly." I sigh, nodding, allowing him to guide me to the ballroom, which I'd only been in a handful times, but it was still beautiful. Once we enter, I stand on the raised platform where the throne stood. Eric takes the things from my hands, so I was stood there with my hands behind my back. "I can stay with you if you like, ma'am, just until the king returns." Eric smiles, stood at the bottom of the platform. "That would be great, Eric. Thank you." I smile at him kindly. He bows his head with a smile, moving to the side at the bottom of the platform. We stand there silent for a few minutes until the doors open at the end of the ballroom. A butler makes his way in first, followed by two people. My parents were following quickly behind the man. They hadn't changed looks-wise. My mom still hand-bleached blonde hair, but a worried expression fills her features. My dad just looked a bit older, his dark black hair still pulled back. His style hadn't changed a bit. I think that's actually the same leather jacket he wore growing up. "Wes and Melissa Jacobs, ma'am," the butler smiles, bowing his head. I smile, sending him a nod where he leaves. This is when I begin to make eye contact with my parents. My dad went to speak, but Eric is quick to interject. "Bow your heads," he tells them. They look at him confused and a little shocked. "Before you speak to the queen, you bow your heads. She is also the first to speak in an encounter such as this one," he says in a harsh tone. "Whoa, he is big on rules, isn't he?" "She's our daughter," my dad replies, looking annoyed at Eric. His attitude hasn't changed a bit either. "She's also the queen, so either bow your heads or leave," Eric says, quickly shutting him down. I look to the floor for a second. "No, Clara, you're queen now. You're not some little kid that they abandoned. You don't have to be scared to look at them. I move my head back to look at them where they both reluctantly bow their heads. I wasn't surprised when I got your letter. If I'm honest, we were all expecting it, Kyle included. I say, putting on the same act I use for my duties, but a much tougher one. Where is Kyle? Is he coming? My mum asks eagerly. I shake my head whilst crossing my arms. He ripped up the letter when I showed him. He wants nothing to do with you. But can you blame him? I ask, where my mum looks down at the ground defeated. He told Menno to respond to you, but I have to. He actually doesn't know I'm having this meeting with you, so make it this quick. I'm going behind the back of the one person who's took care of me, thou. GH out my whole life. I say, still having very hard exterior. Or up, I wasn't going to let them break me. Boom, you just want to be a part of your life again and your brothers, my dad says, which causes me to smile and shake my head. You chose a pretty convenient time to do so. Well, convenient for you, I smile, looking at them both. How's Cyrus? I would call him uncle, but that man is no family of mine. I ask, my arms still remained crossed. The wall is still up and strong. We're so sorry, Clara. If we could take back the last 10 years, we would, but my mum begins to cry, but I cut her off. You can't change the fact that you abandoned your 2 children in the woods on their own. Anything could have happened to us, but you didn't care. All you thought about was yourself. I guess that would be a harsh reality to accept. I say, looking at my dad in the eyes. I wasn't afraid of him or was going to back down. He had no choice, Clara. Cyrus threatened to kill you and your brother. It was the only way. My mother once again cries and screams. I continue to shake my head. Where's Cyrus? Now then, I bet he put you up to this, didn't he? I'm not some little kid that you can manipulate anymore. I've grown up and can see right through what you're doing, I say calmly. It's shocking how I've remained calm through this whole thing and haven't broke down crying. Cyrus doesn't know we're here. He doesn't even know we wrote you a letter, please. Clara, we're your parents, and yes, we know that we messed up big time. Don't you think we've been paying for that these last few years? My dad says, starting to act like mum, there isn't a day that goes by that we don't think of you and your brother. We wish more than anything in the world that it could have gone differently, but we can't change it. He cries, looking at me. Whoa. He never cries when we were growing up. This is a whole new emotion. You would change it to better yourselves. You haven't changed people like you. Don't you just get better at hiding who you really are? A voice says from behind them. Across the ballroom stood an annoyed-looking Kyle. I guess it's time for an unplanned family reunion. Like I expected, all you guys want is to worm your way back into Clara's life as she's queen, he says, shaking his head. Unfortunately, Clara is too nice of a person to see that, which is good that I'm here. He continues. He comes to a stop beside me, staring down at our parents. Kyle, I ask, unfolding my arms. He begins to make his way over to us, giving our parents looks as he went. But how did you know we were having this meeting? I ask, looking over at him. He smiles towards me with a shake of his head. I'm your older brother, Clara. I know how your mind works, even if you try to hide it. He smiles while I just roll my eyes. He was probably right. I knew it would eat away at you if you didn't respond. I checked with the people here if I could come visit you, and they said sure. He smiles. I look down to Eric, who shrugs his shoulders. Please, son, we didn't want to leave you too, but we had no other choice. Your uncle Cyrus was gonna kill you, our dad said, joining the conversation. Not gonna lie, for a second I forgot he was standing there. Okay, first off, I'm not your son and he is not my uncle. Kyle spits out toward our dad. Don't act so innocent. You might be able to convince Clara that you had the best intentions. But not me. Kyle screams at him. I jump back at little from shock. Cyrus forced us, Kyle. We would never have left you there if it wasn't the only way. Our mum cries. Kyle just shakes his head at her with a smile. Then why are you still living with him if you're so scared of him? I mean, he asks. The smile still remained on his face. That was actually a very good question. Don't you think we've tried leaving? She cries, which immediately makes an idea pop in my head. I take steps back, walking towards Eric. I gesture for him to follow me into the next room. He bows his head before eventually following me out the room. I didn't know much about the rules and what kind of power I had as queen, but if my idea could work out, it'll be great. Is there any way I could maybe get Cyrus convicted? I mean, he does and did some bad stuff, and if my parents really want to make amends, they could testify against him, I ask as he closes the door. He stands there thinking for a second, but eventually nods. There is one way I think that might work. Would have to have probable cause to go and arrest him. We would have to either get evidence that has done those bad things or catch him in the act, he explains, which would mean we need to know what kind of illegal activities has up to nowadays. Your parents would have to testify against him. Your brother would also have to testify, ma'am, for what? That he witnessed when you lived with your parents, he explains. But I didn't know if Kyle would do that. Couldn't I ask, as shouting erupted from the ballroom. I could make out Kyle's voice and maybe my dad's. No, ma'am, I don't recommend it, he says, which makes me sigh. A scream coming from the ballroom makes us both look at each other. Eric walks out first, instructing me to stay behind him as we walk in. Kyle and my dad were fighting on the floor. Kyle seemed to have the upper hand. My mom was screaming, trying to pull Kyle off our dad. Stop, I shout, my voice echoing. Kyle immediately stops his fist midway from hitting our dad round the face. Now, I'm going to overlook this, as I know tensions are high right now, but as for you two, if you're serious about making amends with us and are truly scared of Cyrus, we have come up with a plan, I tell him, once again standing on the step platform. Kyle gets off of our dad, walking over to me. Clara, you can't be serious. They don't want to make amends. Cyrus has probably put them up to this, he tells me as Dad finally pulls himself off the floor. But soon see now, we all know what kind of activities Cyrus partakes in, some of which you've also been involved, I say, looking over at my dad, mainly from the little bits and pieces I remember now. Me and Eric over there have come up with a plan. You need to tell us everything Cyrus has his hands in. Well, send guards over to arrest him and you'll testify against High. I say, crossing my arms, looking over at them. They give each other a look, terrified. Cyrus will kill us, my dad exclaims, my mother nodding along with him. You don't understand. When he finds out we're working against him, hell, kill us, even if I'm his younger brother, my dad says. I take a look to Eric, who nods, knowing what I was thinking. If you agree with testifying against him, you'll be put in protective custody. No one will be able to get to you, and Cyrus will be put away, also being unable to get to you after I explain my marvelous plan. They once again take a look at each other. If you want to make amends and get back into our lives as you claim, then why not take this off? And be free of us to actually have the opportunity to be in your children's lives once again. I ask while Kyle just shakes his head, walking to stand by the window. If they turn this down, that's it. I'm not trying with them. Okay, well, do it. Just tell us how. Well, go about it. My mom finally speaks up. My dad looks over, shocked at her, but she didn't seem to care anything. To show you two how sorry we are, she continues, looking between me and Kyle. Kyle just shakes his head, still looking out the window. Well, be in touch with more information. You'll tell Cyrus the police called you in for unimportant questions, Eric tells them, standing beside me. My mother nods, while my dad still looked unsure. Anything to get back into our children's lives. My mother smiles before they're let out. Once the door finally closed, I let a sigh out. That was one of the most terrifying things I've had to do, but I managed to hold it together. I take a look to Kyle, who was still by the window. Since our parents left us, he kind of blocked them out his memory. Whenever I would bring them up, he would act like they died or something. The conversation would be shut down almost immediately. Now they're in their face and not away somewhere. He has no choice but to acknowledge them. Eric bows his head, telling me he'd get the ball rolling. I smile, thanking him, watching as he left the ballroom. Once we left, I slowly make my way over to Kyle, who didn't turn for even a second. I opened my mouth to speak, but he does before could. Don't I know you're gonna apologize for calling them for a meeting, but you don't need to again. I know how your mind works, so I knew what you were gonna do, he explains, still staring at the rainy day. I sigh, placing myself beside him to stare out the window beside him. I know it's terrible for me to say or think, but for years I hoped they died or something, he conveys with a sigh. Always acted as thou. They were. I don't necessarily hate them because what they put me through, I could handle that no problem. It's what they put you through, he tells me, looking with sad eyes. Kyle, we went through the same thing, I say, but he shakes his head, rubbing his hand through his hair. No, we didn't. After I found Emma and we moved into Hillside Pack, things looked up for me, but they just got worse for you, he cries, which was actually true. Things weren't great when we had to defend for ourselves in the woods, but they didn't really get better after. The Alpha didn't accept us from the start because of where he came from. I was with Emma, so we kind of had to suck it up. You. He would treat you so awfully and I couldn't even do anything to stop him. I'm your big brother, but I couldn't protect you, he cries, breaking down. I wrap my arms around him, holding him tightly. You didn't have a choice, Kyle. You know what would have happened if you tried. Look at me, I'm okay now, I say, holding him tightly. He continues to cry, apologizing over and over again. I hate them for what they did. Them abandoning us is what caused all that, he said, wiping the tears from his cheeks. I'll be your side all the way through this, not because I want a bond with them, because I don't, but I need to finally start protecting you, he says, giving me a little smile. I send one back as his face goes blank. This means someone was mind-linking him. I better go, Emma's getting worried. Keep me in the loop, okay? He says, looking down at me. I nod with a little smile as he sends me one last Hugo. Talking of the Alpha has disappeared. The Luna has just been crying while the Beta's not telling anyone anything. Hopefully has got what's coming to him, he says, walking backwards towards the door. He waves me goodbye, walking out the ballroom, leaving me alone. I turn to the window, staring out at the raindrops falling from. I wonder where the Alpha. I lived at the hillside pack for a few years and he never missed a day of his work. Part me of hopes he's okay. Kyle's right, him too nice. I smile as I see a cars driving out the castle. That's probably my parents and Kyle leaving. Honestly, I should have expected him to show up. Kyle always knew what I was up to growing up. The sounds of the doors opening causes me to turn. Grayson runs in out of breath but stops at the door. Your parents? He asks, holding the doors open. I smile, turning around to look at him. Been and gone, I smile while he just sighs, walking towards me, the doors closing on their own. I'm so sorry, my love, I got caught up with work, but I should have been here, he sighs, taking my hands in his. I'm breaking too many promises with you, he sighs, feeling bad. It's work, I understand, don't worry. Eric was with me the whole time and Kyle showed up. His brother's senses were tingling. I laugh. He smiles but shakes his head. I can't keep letting work pull me away from you. I won't keep letting work pull me away from you, he says, pulling me closer. When I say I'm going to be there, I will, he says, placing his forehead on mine. I smile, looking into his eyes. It would have been nice to have him there, but I'm a big girl now. It's time I toughen